Over the course of my self-published author career, I've made over $35,000, and in today's video, I'm going to break down what that looks like and where the money's coming from. If you're new here, my name is Aaron. I'm a self-published author, and on this channel, I talk about the writing process as well as document my journey towards becoming a traditionally published author. Keep in mind, this is over the course of my author career. This is $35,000 over the course of 6 years. My first book was written back in 2020, and it was an expansion of an email course that I put together for the blog I was writing at the time about Dungeons and Dragons. It was probably 30 pages long. I wrote it, I believe, in Google Slides, like as a PowerPoint presentation, and then just formatted everything, then saved as PDF each individual slide. And I sold it for $10, digital only, just a PDF. In the first year, I made about $200 from selling that. Fast forward to 2021, and I decided to launch my very first Kickstarter for a book I wanted to write. At the time, I had absolutely no expectations, basically no idea what I was doing, never done a Kickstarter. I was just hoping to raise $1,000 to just cover the cost of the art, because I had a really cool idea for this book and I wanted to do it. And everything I've written up until this point, the novel that I'm working on, has all been D&D adjacent, which is a different type of writing, but they're books nonetheless. The Kickstarter ends up way exceeding my expectations, blowing up as far as I'm concerned. It raised $13,200. Of course, this wasn't all profit. I had to pay for all of the art in the book, as well as physically printing a softcover version of it. I forget the exact amount, but after printing and art costs and fulfillment, which I just all did by myself, probably ended up around with $8,000 of just like pure profit. Fast forward, after I finished fulfilling for that first book, then I went on to do another Kickstarter in 2022, The Rift to Remora. This was another Dungeons and Dragons type book, but this one I wanted to do a hardcover version of it and a deluxe edition cover, which is sick, by the way. But it ended up costing way, way more to print. Shipping, I don't know, was probably about the same. But printing was significantly more with these really nice hardcover books, especially the gold foil pressed deluxe edition. This one ended up raising about $18,500. So as you can see, the majority of what I've made is directly from the Kickstarters as I'm launching these books. For this one, I don't remember the exact profit margin, so to speak, that I made, but I know it had way more art, better paid artists, it was longer, and the printing cost was a lot higher. So, book for book, I made way less profit on these ones, but they were just so much cooler, better quality. Those are the only 2 Kickstarters I've done up to this point. Will I do more in the future? Maybe, but as I'm trying to go the traditional route of publishing for the novel I'm currently working on, I don't see it happening, at least in the near future. Though I have huge plans, a lot written already, for a super cool D&D setting book about a kind of steampunk apocalyptic setting that takes place on these 3 moons that go around the wasteland of a planet. Anyway, that's not going to happen for a while, so. In 2023, I go to my first convention and set up a table to try to sell some books because I have 3 products now. At the very first one, between the cost of the hotel and food, I had to drive about 3 hours because I don't live in a big city or anything. Ended up losing money on that one. Definitely sold a handful of books, had a cool time, but did not get positive cash flow from that. But it was a really cool experience. Learned a lot just about tabling and talking to people and just having conversations, getting used to people looking interested and then just walking away, not buying your book. Like, it kind of sucks, but the more you do it, it's just exposure therapy, really, to rejection, which is good. You got to have a kind of tough skin in this industry. Since then, I've gone on not to participate in other conventions, but I've actually started my own convention, the first of its kind in the city that I live in. So I've had tables at that just for the past 2 years. I've been doing this. And so I've made about $700 in sales of books from that. Over the course of having published everything, I've probably pulled in around $200 just from in-person interactions outside of conventions, talking with someone, meeting a friend of a friend, whatever, and they're like, oh, like that's really cool, or they just want to support it. So they're like, oh, how do we do it? So we just do like cash exchange, like, oh, here's your book. Now I do have an online shop on the blog that I used to write for. The website and the shop, everything is still live. And since 2020, I've sold $2,600 of books, and digital and physical mixed up on that. I would say for the most part nowadays, it's just $10 trickles in here, $30 trickles in there. It's inconsistent. I'm not pushing it. I'm not actively writing articles on that site at the moment. So for now, that's kind of just like a little extra bit of fun money, or just keep it tucked away to buy some office upgrade in the future. And my final source of income as a self-published author is I've made less than $100 from a local bookstore that just keeps my books on consignment. So I only started doing this about a year and some change ago. Maybe I've made $50. Again, it's not any significant money, but it is a really cool, fun feeling to get a check in the mail from this bookstore. It has your name on it. So it feels in a lot of ways like opening up what would be a royalty check in the future. It's really cool. It's just like, here is a paycheck. Somebody bought my book. That's a cool feeling. So if you look at the breakdown of the numbers, you'll see that about 90% of everything I've made comes from those two huge lump sums of money from the Kickstarters that I've did. So if you're on the fence about doing a Kickstarter, if you have no idea what you're doing, just do it anyway. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. It was a few years ago, granted, but still I have a fairly good understanding of it. And I did all of this with a full-time job and everything. And if you want to learn about lit RPGs as a genre, check out this video here.